Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. Today, we're going deep into Samsung's brand new foldable flagship, the Galaxy Z Fold 6. This phone is part of Samsung's high-end foldable lineup. It combines the power of a flagship smartphone with the flexibility of a tablet. But the big question is, what's actually new this year? Is this the foldable phone you should buy in 2025? Or is it more of the same with a few small upgrades? Let's take a closer look. If you're not familiar with foldable phones, here's a quick intro. A foldable phone like the Galaxy Z Fold 6 has two screens. There's a smaller outer screen you use when the phone is folded. It works like any regular smartphone screen. Then there's a large inner screen that folds in half. You open the phone to use this big display. It's like having a tablet in your pocket. This makes foldables great for both work and entertainment. Samsung has been leading the foldable market for a few years now with every new model. They've tried to make things better, stronger materials, smoother software, and smarter features. The Fold 6 is no different. At first glance, it may not look too different from last year's Fold 5. But there are several key improvements worth talking about. Let's start with the design. Samsung hasn't changed the overall shape or size drastically, but it has made things a little sleeker. The Fold 6 is slightly thinner than the Fold 5. It's also lighter. That may not sound like a big deal, but with a foldable, every gram counts. Foldables are heavier than regular phones, so a lighter build is always welcome. The phone is made with premium materials. The outer panels are covered in Gorilla Glass Victus 2. This is one of the toughest types of glass available for smartphones. It helps protect the device from drops and scratches. The frame and hinge are made of what Samsung calls armor aluminum. It feels solid in the hand and adds durability. The hinge itself has been redesigned to be more compact. This helps in two ways. First, it allows the outer cover screen to be slightly wider. That makes it easier to type and use apps when the phone is closed. Second, the smaller hinge makes the whole device feel more refined. One thing that still hasn't changed, though, is how the phone opens. It doesn't unfold completely flat. You might notice a small angle or a slight curve. Samsung has improved this over the years, but it's still not perfect. Maybe that's something we'll see fixed in a future version. Now let's talk about protection. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 is the first foldable from Samsung to come with both water and dust resistance. It has an IP48 rating. Last year's model was water resistant but not dust protected. Dust has always been a concern for foldables because particles can get inside the hinge. So, this upgrade is actually a pretty big deal when the phone is folded. You interact with the outer screen this year. Samsung made the cover display a little bigger and slightly wider. It's now 6.3 inches diagonally. The new aspect ratio is 22:9 instead of 23:9. This might not seem like much, but it makes typing more comfortable and apps look more natural. Still, some competitors have even wider screens, so there's still room to improve. The main display is where the magic happens. When you unfold the Fold 6, you get a massive 7.6-inch OLED display. This is where the foldable really shines. The screen is bright, colorful, and smooth. It supports a 120 Hz refresh rate, which means scrolling and animations feel fast. The aspect ratio is close to square, about 10.5:9. That makes it perfect for multitasking and split-screen work. One of the most noticeable upgrades this year is the screen brightness. Samsung has seriously improved it. On manual settings, you can get over 750 nits. In bright environments or under sunlight, the phone can boost brightness to more than 1,600 nits. This makes a big difference when using the phone outdoors. The outer display is also brighter. We measured around 780 nits in manual mode and over 1,550 nits in auto mode. The good news is that both screens now match in brightness. So, going from one screen to the other feels smooth and consistent. HDR10 Plus support is available on both screens. That means movies, videos, and games look great. The colors are vivid, the contrast is deep, and you get a cinematic feel. Samsung also hides the inner camera under the screen. It's not completely invisible, but it helps keep the viewing area clean. The phone uses adaptive refresh rate technology. That means it can change the screen's refresh rate depending on what you're doing. If you're reading or looking at something static, it lowers the refresh rate to save battery. If you're scrolling or gaming, it speeds things up. Samsung says it can go as low as 1 Hz in certain situations. That helps battery life a lot. S Pen support is back. You can use the stylus on the big inner screen. This is great for note-taking, sketching, or editing documents. However, there's still no built-in slot to store the S Pen. You'll need to buy a case if you want to carry it with the phone. Also, the S Pen only works on the inner screen, not the outer one. Let's move on to audio. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 has stereo speakers. There's one at the top and one at the bottom. They're not the loudest speakers we've tested, but they sound better than last year. The bass is deeper and the sound is more balanced. Whether you're watching YouTube or listening to music, the sound quality is enjoyable. Unlocking the phone is easy. There's a fingerprint scanner on the side. It's built into the power button. It works quickly and is very reliable. Some people prefer face unlock, but fingerprint remains the best option on this foldable. Now, let's talk about storage. There's no microSD card slot, so you can't expand storage. But Samsung offers generous internal options. You can choose from 256 GB, 512 GB, or even a massive 1 TB. That's plenty of space for apps, videos, and photos. The software experience is where the Fold 6 really shows its strength. It runs Samsung's One UI 6.1, based on Android 14. If you've used a Samsung phone before, you'll feel at home. But Samsung has added some special features just for foldables. One of these is the taskbar on the main screen. It looks like what you'd see on a tablet or a desktop. It shows your recent apps and favorite shortcuts. You can switch between apps quickly. It makes multitasking feel natural. Multitasking is a big focus on the Fold 6. You can open 3 apps at once in split-screen mode. You can also have floating windows, which you can move around or minimize for people who like to do more at once. This is a dream setup. Flex mode is another unique feature. It activates when you fold the phone halfway, like a mini laptop. Some apps split their controls across the 2 halves of the screen. For example, you might see a video on the top and playback buttons on the bottom. AI features are also included. Samsung brought over many of the tools from the Galaxy S24 series. These include voice transcription, AI search, and text suggestions. One fun feature is circle to search. You circle anything on the screen and the phone finds info about it. There's also Google Gemini support. This adds more AI tools, including help with writing, translating, and organizing information. If you use the S Pen, you can try Sketch to image. You draw something and the AI turns it into real artwork. It's a cool feature, especially for creative users. Live Interpreter is now smarter on the Fold 6. This tool lets you have conversations into languages. One person sees the translated text on the big screen and the other sees it on the outer screen. It's very useful when traveling or speaking with someone who doesn't speak your language. Samsung is also promising long software support. You'll get 7 years of OS updates and 7 years of security patches. That's excellent and gives the phone a long life. Let's talk performance. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip. It's the same chip found in the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It's fast, efficient, and powerful. Apps open quickly, games run smoothly, and multitasking feels effortless. In benchmarks, the Fold 6 didn't score as high as the S24 Ultra. This might be because of heat management. Samsung added a bigger vapor chamber this year, But in long tests, we saw some thermal throttling. That means the chip slows down a bit when it gets hot. It's not a huge issue in daily use. But something to keep in mind, the battery is the same size as last year for 1,400 milliamp hours. Battery life is okay, but not amazing. In our tests, we got around 11 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time. That's enough to get through a day with moderate use. But heavy users might need a top-up in the evening. Charging speed is still limited to 25 watts. That's slow compared to other flagships. You don't get a charger in the box either. With a proper charger, we got 38% in 30 minutes and a full charge in about 1 hour and 41 minutes. There's also wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, which is useful for earbuds or a smartwatch. Now let's discuss cameras. The hardware hasn't changed much. You still get a 50MP main camera, a 10MP 3x telephoto, and a 12MP ultra-wide. These are the same cameras used in the Fold 4 and Fold 5. The main camera takes great photos in daylight. They're sharp, colorful, and well-balanced. Skin tones look natural. Dynamic range is wide. In low light, the phone automatically uses night mode. The results are still very good. There's some noise, but the detail remains strong. The experience is nearly the same. For new users or those coming from older models, the Fold 6 is a great choice. Thanks for watching. If you want more foldable reviews, check out our videos on the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the OnePlus Open. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you next time.